Hey friends, you guys, we want to talk about boundaries, right? So, boundaries at work can be really, really powerful for you in different ways. And I want to talk about today the way that work boundaries kind of help you thrive in your career in general, in work, and everything that you want to achieve in life, right? So, boundaries seem intangible oftentimes. I know earlier in my career they seemed not relevant to work. They seem to be more relevant. When I would think about boundaries, I would think about things at home, like what kind of boundaries I need to put up for my time even. But I would not think of boundaries necessarily as being a component of thriving in my career, in my work, in my business even. And now, having built a career and built a business and pivoted throughout my tenure as a working professional, I see uniquely there's some things that we do as Black women professionals that really don't propel us, but they kind of allow us to become stagnant, and in some cases damage our health. So I myself suffered from having no work boundaries in the beginning of my career, meaning my family used to call me and still sometimes will refer to me as a workhorse because they always can count on me to be working very hard, to be working very long hours. And it was very detrimental to my health. I postponed a very needed surgery when I got a promotion back a few years ago, actually. And as a result of me delaying that surgery, the next surgery I needed was way more intrusive, and it was a full-blown hysterectomy, and it was a lot to do with the toxicity and stress I was dealing with at my job. And so that was a huge problem for me. I don't know how many of you are suffered through physical ailments, but sometimes it's not physical, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's mental. Workplace stress can take a huge toll on you, and I never want us to feel like we don't get to be human, because the world has conditioned Black women being the most educated but also the most unprotected in most spaces, including work, to make us feel like we have to be almost physically superhuman. And we don't have to be. We get to be a full person because they're only paying for a real person. They're not paying you to be superhuman. So that's one thing about boundaries. So let's talk about boundaries. How do you create boundaries in your work life? So one of the things that I like to do is to not decide how much energy something's going to get just because it was a predetermined a commitment, right? You have to assess your energy. So you have to be able to check in with yourself and know this is what I have capacity for, and to be able to shift your ability to meet capacities depending on what you're dealing with, also the demands of your day, right? So as a leader, you're going to have demands hitting your front door all the time. And so one of the boundaries that can really be helpful to you is checking in. Where am I with my demand? Whether that's, okay, I need to stay potentially late, right? But that doesn't mean I'm gonna stay late and I'm still cooking dinner and I'm still going to pick up the kids from practice and I'm still going to meet up with my sorority group, or I'm still going to my volunteer group, or I'm still going to my church group, right? Like this, you have the right to say, I don't have capacity. I don't have capacity to pet you right now. Give me a second. And so we have to give ourselves capacity. Creating capacity, number one. Number two, some work boundary ideas that I have seen that helps thrive and things I've coached my clients on through, is telling your leaders no. That is a sign of leadership. When you can tell people no, you can tell them that doesn't work, that's not going to work, or I'm not able to do that situation. And I know as Black women, we get conditioned to think we don't have no rights, we can't say no. But when you operate like this with your colleagues, they will continue. I mean, the message is you don't want to be seen as the help. So you got to stop acting like the help, and you have to articulate what you can and cannot do, what you are willing to do. For example, I had people ask me in the past, how do you tell your employer no? One professional way to say no is to simply use the word no. I know people give you all this political speak, and I'm articulate, so I can do that for you as well. But sometimes we have to use the power of simple language. Oftentimes in political environments, they're talking in circles, right, to avoid saying the simplest thing. And I know we do another video on political culture in the workplace. That's different. What I'm saying is we have to start using the power of our language to be clear and concise. So you could say, "Oh, Marlena, we have a meeting tomorrow night, and could you lead that?" Or I had a colleague actually last week completely need to leave in the middle of the day because they had an emergency, and no fault of their own, right? And saying, I had their executive leadership come to me and say, "Hey, we need you to fill in and do this. Can you do that?" And I simply said, "No, I won't be able to do that. And if you need me to do that, this is when I would be able to accommodate that with enough time for me to feel prepared and to be able to demonstrate the value that you're expecting in this meeting or in this engagement." I said the other time I've said, "No, I don't have context for what this person was planning to share." And because this is a really personal emergency, I'm not about to reach out to them and ask. So we need to delay, and we need to communicate to the client, let them know that this is a hard stop for us. One, that shows leadership in that you're supporting your team. One, that shows leadership in your ability to not say you're going to just funnel your way through something just to make one person happy when the client won't be happy because you're not as versed in whatever it needs to be done, right? So just saying no, that's not capable. Giving alternatives is another way to not feel like you're coming up and just saying no with no solution. So have a proposal, right? Another work boundary is take note of your health. I started off this story with my story of my hysterectomy. I want you to take care of yourself. I should have had my surgery when I got my promotion, but I let the narrative in my head go that because I'm starting something new, I shouldn't take care of myself. That should never be interchangeable. You have to take care of yourself. I have people in my life right now that are going through a lot physically because they're just now prioritizing their health, and they're very successful, very lucrative in their fields. But guess what? It don't matter if you ain't here, sis. And as much as my work is about helping us get everything we're supposed to get, coins at the center of that, right? I want also for Black women professionals to be fully human, to allow themselves to open up to their humanity in ways that will allow them to lead with more ease. And so I will be sharing tips on that. If you would like to hear my 5 overarching the keys to thrive in your career as a Black woman professional, I am hosting a free webinar, and the link is in my bio for you to join us. And it's about 60 minutes next Thursday at 7 p.m. And we will all be there, and I will share with you to connect with you and also bring Black women together because we need each other. And part of the challenge being the only out there is being isolated. But when you know you got a sisterhood behind you, it helps entering those rooms and you feel that energy behind you, as well as you know you're not alone. Even if physically one moment to the next it may appear that way, you know you're not, and you have support. So that sounds like something you'd be interested in, a powerful Black woman you know will be interested in. I would love for they to be there. So please share the link. Please share this video. Please like and save and hit all my buttons. And subscribe here and follow and all the things. And let me know how boundaries at work have helped you, or what questions you have about boundaries and instilling more boundaries at work for yourself.